Unicer Bebidas de Portugal (SGPS) SAR is a Portuguese company with the decision centre in Portugal. Its activity is set up on the business of beers and bottled water. It is the largest Portuguese beverage company and is also present in the areas of soft drinks, ciders and wines, in the production and sale of malt, and in the tourism business. Structure: Unicer is a company with majority of Portuguese capital and decision centre in Portugal, owned in 56% by Vasa and 44% by the Carlsberg Group. The holding Vasa congregates three Portuguese groups: Violas, Asopi and BPI. Unicer is the largest Portuguese exporter of beer, an operation that has already reached more than 50 countries, mainly through Superboc, which is the best-selling Portuguese beer in the world. The company follows a multi-brand and multi-business strategy, focused on beer and bottled water but extends to the segments of soft drinks, cider and wine. Unicer is also associated with the activity of malt production and sale and holds assets in the tourism sector. Vidago and Pedras Salgadas thermal parks, both in Trás-os-Montes region. History. Origins. The origin of the company dates back to the beginnings of the beverage sector industrialization during the second half of the 19th century, when on March 7, 1890, CUFP was formed. This conglomerate can be considered the mother of the current beverage company, with the initial capital of 125,000 escudos, which is roughly €623. Of the 7 factories that have joined this project, some were already several decades old. Nationalization and creation of Unicer. In the Portuguese revolutionary period, CUFP was nationalized on August 30, 1975. In December 1977, the state restructured the sector, combining the 5 nationalized companies into 2, Centralsa and Unicer Bebidas. In 1988, by the Decree Law No. 353/88, Unicer was transformed into a public limited liability company with a majority public capital with the designation Unicer Bebidas. SAR. Productivity has more than tripled between 1979 and 1989, and by the end of the decade, Unicer beer sales exceeded the 300 million litres. It was also during this period that Unicer started a consistent focus on exporting, exceeding, in 1983, 1 million litres of beer exported, and over 4 million litres in 1988. Reprivatization and growth. Unicer's economic and financial indicators during the 80s justified that it had been chosen by the government to begin the process of privatizations. Thus, on April 26, 1989, in a public session held in the Oporto Stock Exchange, the privatization of 49% of capital took place. In 1990, the year the company celebrated its centenary, the privatization was completed, with the sale of the 51% stake that was still held by the state. Over the 90s, Unicer continued to invest in technological modernization in all its sectors, in productivity expansion, in rationalization and expansion of the distribution network, and in rejuvenation of brands and corporate image. After 1995, the beer market was growing again, and Unicer strengthened its leadership in the sector. Superboc expanded its popularity, participating in major events such as the most emblematic Portuguese summer festival Superboc Super Rock, whose first edition took place in 1995. Expo 98 of the campaign Superboc Official Beer of the Year 2000, launched in 1999. In 1992, Unicer started to produce and market the Danish brand Carlsberg in Portugal. Restructuring. In 2000, the core of Unicer shareholders, along with Viasa Holding Company, launches a public takeover bid, and gets to hold the totality of the capital, except for the shares of the company in itself. By the end of 2000, it was formalized the change of name from Unicer Bebidas to Unicer Bebidas de Portugal. A year later, the company changed its legal status, becoming a holding company and rearranging and empowering the various business units. In 2000, Unicer entered the coffee sector with the acquisition of the shares of the company A Cafeira S.A. and strengthened its position in the wine sector with the purchase of Quinta do Minho and Vimampo Winery Society of Monção. In 2002, the purchase of VMPS, Vidargard, Melgaco and Pedras Salgadas and their integration into Unicer, including 6 industrial facilities, natural parks and thermal and hotel units, and 6 watermarks, projected the company for new challenges in the bottled water sector, as well as the entry in the tourism sector. New model of governance. In June 2006, there is a change in Unicer governance, and the operational leadership started to be performed by the Chief Executive Officer, a position entrusted to Antonio Magalhães Perez de Lima. Years later, concerning the beer business, a core business, there was a concentration of all of the production in Unicer Bebidas, where, in 2012, began the construction of a new factory with a capacity of 450 million litres, designed according to the foresight of the company's activity for the next 20 years. This emphasis on centralization and development of this production centre represents an investment amounting to €100 million. In July 2013, Antonio Perez de Lima leaves the position of chairman of the Executive Committee of Unicer, to accept the office of Minister of Economy. He was replaced by João Becasas. 125 years Unicer. Unicer celebrated its 125th birthday on March 7, 2015, in a ceremony presided over by President of the Republic, Aníbal Cavaco Silva. The celebration coincided with the inauguration of the new industrial complex at Unicer Bebidas, part of the new warehouse, the headquarters building and a beer production centre, in an investment of €100 million. The beer production centre stands out by combining new equipment, technologically superior, and a greater production capacity. The new warehouse is a fully automated infrastructure with an electric car circuit with direct connection to the factory, and where you can store 40,000 pallets and move 12,000 pallets daily. Also, the new headquarters, inaugurated in September 2014, includes an outer plate which reduces about 30% of energy consumption. Sustainability was a major concern in this work, and very positive indicators were achieved. In the new production plant and filling, it was reduced by 23% the consumption of electricity, 12% water consumption, and 34% thermal energy consumption. But the new building is now in the process of obtaining LEED certification regulations that covers a set of design criteria. Construction and operation of buildings in an environmentally sustainable manner. Also, in order to mark the 125th anniversary of the company, Unicer launched the book Unicer: A Long History, a work written by Professor Gaspar Martins Pereira. Journalist Julio Magalhães read the foreword. Internationalization. Currently, Unicer has commercial activity in more than 50 countries spread over 5 major markets: Angola, rest of Africa, Europe, America, Pacific and Middle East. Since the 2000s, Unicer has expanded substantially its exports. In 2006, it already exported about 117 million liters of beer and 23 million liters of water, accounting for about 18% of total sales. In 2012, Unicer exported more than 220 million liters of beverages, representing nearly 34% of its total turnover. On the beer market, the foreign market is even more important, exporting more than 40% of the total beer it produces. The Angolan and European markets are the main contributors to the growth of Unicer, which holds a prominent position in the Portuguese beer exported leadership. The main export market remains Angola, where Superboc is at the top of the preferences among beer brands imported. In Brazil, Água das Pedras secured, during the first year of internationalization in this country, its presence in 350 sales outlets, including restaurants, gourmet shops, hotels, bars and upscale retail. The leading brand of sparkling water in Portugal is also betting in the USA. In August 2013, the first containers with 500,000 liters of Superboc non-alcoholic 0.0% went to Saudi Arabia, thanks to a de-alcoholization process that does not include stopping the fermentation phase, and allows the conservation of the main features of a beer. After Saudi Arabia's experience with Superboc non-alcohol, Unicer wants to expand its presence in the Middle East. Unicer's planning of international activity focuses on the development and implementation of infrastructure projects in different geographies, such as the United States, Mozambique and several European countries. Brands, production centers: Unicer de Balio, Pedras Salgadas, Castelo de Vide, Caramulo, Invendos, Melgaco, Povo de Lanhazo, Pocerao. Tourism. The purchase of the entire share capital of the group VMPS, Vidargard, Melgaco and Pedras Salgadas in 2002, and their integration into Unicer, including nearly 500 workers, 6 industrial facilities, extensive natural parks and thermal and hotel units, allowed Unicer to enter the tourism sector. In 2005, Unicer launched the project Aquanata, with a major investment in upgrading these parks. Pedras Salgadas Spa and Amp Nature Park. Pedras Salgadas Spa and Amp Nature Park is a tourist complex where the accommodation is made in 12 eco-houses, small houses built of wood and slate, consisting of 8 modules that were installed skirting nature, so that it would not kill any tree. This project was authored by the architect Luis Rebelo de Andrade. The old thermal spa houses the thermal spa, renewed by the famous Portuguese architect César Vieira. In addition to the 12 houses of the initial project, the eco-houses, the park also has 2 tree houses, smaller houses, which rise between the trees, creating the fantasy of true tree houses. Vidargo Palace Hotel. Vidargo Palace Hotel recently opened with 70 rooms and suites, some with private patios, distributed between the 4 floors. The hotel, raised to the 5-star category, reopened to the public in 2010 with a thermal spa and a renewed 18-hole golf course. Social responsibility. In this area, Unicer is dedicated to 5 areas, taken as priority of the company: ecological footprint, employees, community, business partners, and consumer, through the promotion of responsible consumption and the promotion of active and social lifestyle. In these areas some projects stood out. In 2006, Unicer launched In Save project, designed in collaboration with Danfoss Solutions, which has saved in Unicer de Balio 90 million liters of water, 3,600 megawatts of electricity and 26% of the carbon dioxide consumption. In 2007, Unicer was awarded the Citizenship of Companies and Organizations prize awarded by the ASE. In 2008, Unicer starts two projects to create awards to recognize talent and national and international innovation. The first was the Product Innovation Award, in collaboration with COTE Cedar Award, innovative products developed on Portuguese soil. PRE-Acute-MIO National Industrias Criativas, in collaboration with Sarav's Foundation and with the support of a network of strategic partners in various industries, was launched in 2008. This award, now in its 7th edition already, became a door entry for the creation and generation of many businesses in the area of creativity and culture, and it won in 2012 the European Prize for Enterprise Promotion. In November 2009, Unicer signs the Letters of Commitment promoted by APAN and the FIPA advertising directed to children and reformulation and nutrition information to consumers to promote healthier lifestyles and fight bad eating habits. Unicer has worked with universities, having been recognized by the Faculty of Engineering of University of Porto for the relevance of its collaboration on projects with this university, especially with the Chemical Engineering Department, Biological Engineering and Industrial Engineering and Management, and the School of Engineering, University of Minho, for continued support to education projects and research of this school, in particular with the Department of Biological Engineering. December 5, 2013, more than 100 employees went to the streets and engaged in a great action of volunteering with institutions, families and/or people in a situation of greater vulnerability and/or in need. CAIS Recycler, a social entrepreneurship project created by CAIS and Unicer, was awarded and recognized by the President of the Republic, Cavaco Silva, in 2013, for the work for the promotion of socio-professional training of people in poverty and social exclusion, according to the latest data of the Directorate General for Education Statistics and Science, released in February 2015, relating to undertakings with more spending on I&D activities in 2012 in Portugal. Unicer Group is at second place in the list of companies, groups of chemical, pharmaceutical and agri-food with more intramural spending on I&D activity in 2012. Unicer Group rose to fifth place in the list of companies, groups with more intramural spending on I&D activity in 2012. Awards. Unicer was distinguished by the excellence of its activation campaigns at sales outlets in the International Awards POPAI. Altogether, it received 9 awards, 4 gold, 3 silver and 2 bronze, being the national and international company most awarded in this edition. In 2011, Unicer's Management Report 2010 was awarded in the category Annual Reports as part of Design Excellence by the Red Dot Awards. Communication Design. In late May 2015, the commemorative book of the 125 years of Unicer, A Long History, won the Grand Prize of the Year and the Grand Prix in the category Books under the PAPI's 15 Awards, which reward the best graphic communication internationally. Brands. In 2002, the year that celebrated its 75th anniversary, Superboc became the first Portuguese beer to receive quality certification. In 2009, Água das Pedras enhances its place on the national scene by being the first Portuguese brand of water to receive the ITKY. In the years 2011 and 2012, Água das Pedras was again awarded, this time with the Superior Taste Award, an award given by the International Taste and Amp Quality Institute. In 2012, Carlsberg and Superboc beers, produced by Unicer, were distinguished by the Carlsberg Group internationally as the beers with higher quality. In the 2014 edition of the international competition Mont Selection, brands Água das Pedras and Superboc received, respectively, the Great Gold gold medal and the gold medal. Superboc is the only brand in the market to win 36 gold medals, 32 consecutive, in the international competition Mont Selection de la Qualité. Tourism. In 2012, Pedras Salgadas Paranamp Nature Park, by the architect Luis Rebelo de Andrade, was the winner of the prize Building of the Year 2012 by Arch Daily in the category Hotels and Restaurants. In 2014, the project Pedras Salgadas Paranamp Nature Park was awarded as Best Resort in Travel Plus Leisure Design Awards. The tourism complex Vidago Palace Hotel also won the World Luxury Hotel Awards 2014.